What's up, everybody? It's Comedex, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Secrets of Strixhaven, the newest set on Arena. Without further ado, let's get back into the brand new draft formats. We've got a sweet opening pack, as we do quite often in this set. There are some really awesome cards. One thing that's a little awkward is that a couple of the best cards in this pack do overlap in terms of their school. There are two really good Witherbloom cards here, so we're probably going to take one of these, and then somebody else is going to take a Witherbloom card, and then there's also like the Poisoner's Apprentice that can be really good in Witherbloom, so we might end up in a draft pod where we have to fight people over Witherbloom, but I think these cards are still by far kind of the best options in the pack. I like Studious First here a lot as well. The 5-color deck we've had a lot of success with, and I think this is a really good card for that kind of strategy. And just a reasonable card for any green deck. Super sweet pack, but I'm just going with that board wipe right off the bat and the Vicious Rivalry there. Pick number 2, there's a Send in the Pest for a solid synergy piece for Witherbloom decks, since you get that Pest token to gain life every turn, and it's good value making your opponent discard a card, so that's perfectly fine. After that, there's not a ton at common I love here. I mean, I do like Will to the Heat when I'm Lorehold and Visionary's Dance when I'm in Prismari, but they're a little bit awkward to take right after a Vicious Rivalry. There's a Together as one. If we can do the full 5-color Converge deck, this card can be really, really good. Even just at 3 different colors, deal 3 to something, draw 3 can be very good. Like removal spell plus draw 3. So I'm going to take Together as one. I think that's a very strong reason to go for a 4 or 5 color Converge strategy. And then pick 3, we see more powerful reasons to do so. There's the Snarl Song, which could give you 2 4/4 blockers or 2 5/5 blockers and gain all that life as well. So a really good way to stabilize later in the game and turn things in your favor. The Transcendent Archaic's also good for that. But I'm going to take the Snarl Song here. I think we're kind of going for it. Paradox Surveyor is a pretty solid card. It's excellent when you are Quandrix, and I think it can still be good in 5-color as long as green and blue are the main 2 colors of your deck. Otherwise, it's very hard to cast. But it does draw you a land when it enters, out of the top 5 too, so it digs a little bit. You get a little bit of options there. Paradox Surveyor just makes the most sense out of all this, outside of like taking a Spectacle Summit, which would be reasonable too. Pick number 5 now. There's a mono green ramp card. There's some black removal spells, 5 mana 3/3 or a dual land. I mean, I think the mono green ramp card would be fine, but these Converge decks are really a lot more about having one of each color than having like 2 or 3 green mana. That could help a little bit because obviously these are 6 mana cards and there's only 5 colors, so we can spend double green on them, but still don't think Lecture is going to be super incredible. It might be worth actually taking the duel over the Lecture at this point. I think I'm going to do that. I think we need to take a lot of duels. Ideally. Now pick 6, we get a Transcendent Archaic, or the draw spell, the Tide Choreographer. I mean, the Transcendent Archaic is also just a draw spell, just a little more expensive. We'll grab Archaic here. Pick 7. The Rancorous Archaic is the least exciting of all the Archaics because it's just kind of a beefy creature. Doesn't have any immediate enter the battlefield effect, so if your opponent has one of the removal spells that just says destroy target creature, it's just a 1/1, but it can be pretty big for the cost. Lorecaster might be more exciting. Lorecastering back like a Snarl Song or a Vicious Rivalry would be wild. I'm going to go Lorecaster over that Archaic. Just don't think the common Archaic is super high pick. Here's one of those really excellent, really cheap removal spells we can take. 1 and a white to destroy a tapped creature. But we could also just spend 5 mana to destroy any. I like that a lot. I also like the Royal Treatment to protect our big Converge payoffs. The like gigantic Archaics potentially. Go for a Johnny's Response though. Pick number 9, Terrafractal can be a top end card. Big Flying Finisher. Pick 10, green-blue duel. Pick 11, another Transcendent Archaic. And it's going to be it for a while. We really can't play a colorless land in a Converge deck. We really got to get some cheap cards. Our curve starts at 3 mana, and then it's a bunch of 4 mana stuff. All right, pack 2, pick 1. Exhibition Tidecaller is a very scary card. Every time you cast any instant or sorcery, you mill your opponent 3, which can add up really quickly if you're casting a lot of instant sorceries. If you cast a 5 mana or more when they mill 10, so you only need to cast like 2 5 mana instants or sorceries and your opponent just loses the game. So Tidecaller is a really, really scary win condition. That said, because we're trying to do Converge, Environmental Scientist is also going to be incredibly useful to us. I think most of the time Tidecaller is a much scarier card, but in this exact spot where we're trying to do a 5-color Converge deck, Environmental Scientist is just so perfect. I kind of think I have to pass on Tidecaller, which is a little sad because it would be really fun to try to mill some people out with that, but we'll have to save that for the future. Grab ourselves an Environmental Scientist there. Here's another card that's really excellent for these decks, the Proctor's Gaze. You get to use this as some interactions, slowing your opponent down, bouncing one of their cards, and also fixing your mana with the Rampant Growth half, tutoring whatever land putting into play. Arc of Hunger is also just a really good card in general. Obviously going to be much better when you're a dedicated Lorehold deck, but it is like drawing you a card every turn and draining your opponent for life. Another position. It's a super good rare, but Proctor's Gaze is just exactly what we need in this kind of strategy, so Proctor's Gaze it is. Whoa! Somebody gets to play double Arc of Hunger because I have to take Snarlsong over it. Once again, 9 times out of 10, Arc of Hunger is the better card, but Snarlsong is the card for what we're doing. So we take the Snarlsong there. Make sure we are drafting the cards that work for the archetype we are playing. Okay, get another Proctor's Gaze. That looks very good to me. The Poisoner's Apprentice is not going to be consistent. We're not going to be that heavy in red, so double red could be hard. We're definitely green-blue at the core, splashing every other color with our Converge. Take a Proctor's Gaze. That'll be pretty perfect. Pick 5. Hydro Channeler could be nice in this strategy, ramping for our instants and sorceries in particular, and also it can filter our mana, so it can help with like Snarlsong and Together as One's Converge. Because we can get like the black mana off of it, or the white mana, like one of our colors that we don't have a lot of, off of the mana filtering. So that actually looks quite nice for this deck, when blue and green are the core colors. Some more interaction in our main colors, like Run Behind looks fine here. This is not a good Shalonian Tackle deck because we're just not going to have creatures out till much later. Embrace the Paradox is nice as well, drawing deeper, looking for our really impactful cards. But I think it's going to be really important to run a good chunk of interaction, so I'm going to take Run Behind over the draw spell there. Oh, baby, get rewarded with a second copy of Together as One. That is really going to help us with consistent endgame. Essence Scatter is a great cheap piece of interaction in our main colors. And that's what we're really lacking right now is those early plays. These are decent spells, but we still really don't have a lot of duels, so I think I have to take one here. Now we've got Run Behind, double Proctor's Gaze for 4-mana interaction. I think I can pass up on this one to get the perfect duel. Flow State for card selection, really nice, but Banishing Betrayal, just because we're so low on interaction, is really tempting as well. We've got a lot of instants in here. I feel like we can really trigger Flow State, though. Get the draw, too. Might be sketchy. We are really not not interacting a lot early. Well, there we go, Banishing Betrayal. Taking that over Disdainful Stroke, because I think we need more early than late. Disdainful Stroke, while it is 2 mana, is dealing with high mana value cards and not low mana value cards. Okay, ooh, perfect. Ambitious Augmenter. Exactly the kind of card I'm looking for here. This is an early blocker that's going to be an annoying roadblock, hard to attack through. Because it keeps getting bigger and they don't want to trade into it because we just get another creature back out of it. Really perfect early blocks here for us. And then we should wheel this Archaic's Agony. I doubt anybody else is interested in that, based on how late this Together as One went. Okay, Studious First here. Another perfect pickup here. Something to play early that also fixes our mana and ramps us up. Absolutely perfect. Here's a random gigantic Converge finisher. Doesn't make a ton of sense in this deck, though, because I just don't think we're going to have a lot of creatures out to be giving that +1/+0 buff to, so it's just going to be like one big creature. It's similar to the common Converge card in our deck, actually. So it might be better to just play another early creature, get some blocks going, like maybe a Muse Seeker here, helping with our card selection. I'm weirdly more interested in Muse Seeker than the card that literally says Converge out of that pack. Oh, I love Additive Evolution, but duels though? Duels though at this point? Yeah, I feel like I'm really good on finishers with just these 6. Grab duels. Duels again, unless there's like specifically a first year or something. And there is not, no fixing there. 6. No lands in this pack. Just another run behind. Could take a Tome Blast. I think this deck can Tome Blast it up. Over a 3rd run behind. Pick 7 Shared Roots. A little bit worse than the Sudi's first year, but still going to help us a lot. Archaeomancer off the bonus sheet is pretty sweet. That's really cool artwork too. You can see them, they're painting like the original artwork of the Archaeomancer. That's really cool. Archaic's Agony or Fields of Strife? I mean, we have Double Together as one, which is basically just better. Archaic's Agony. And we do have a lot of top end. We've got like the 6 huge ones and a Lorecaster too. I'm actually just going to take another duel here. Take another duel. No more duels available. Get an Orisa. Our grounded Mole Drifter. Another Orisa. I actually kind of like Visionary's Dance. 2-mana draw spell or another big finisher. I'm a huge fan. Probably too much a fan, but whatever. I did just say how much I don't actually need that much more top end, and then I took more top end because I love Visionary's Dance. But it plays really well with Archaeomancer and Lorecaster too, because then you can discard it early and also pick it up and have it be the finisher. At the same time, let's see what we got here to cuts. Definitely keep these 1-drops. Keep the 2-drops, keep the 3, keep the 4. We could maybe cut a little bit of top end if we want, and a little bit of spells. Maybe a Johnny's Response as our only white spell in the whole deck. Six cuts. Man. We gotta make some room. Now that I've got a few early blockers, maybe Vanishing Betrayal's a tiny bit less necessary, hopefully. And we're still gonna have issues early, that's for sure. You know, the last time I did a 5-color deck like this, we did get attacked hard enough early that, like, the Vicious Rivalry was kind of an awkward late game board wipe. I mean, it's obviously better when you're dedicated Witherbloom because you have a lot of life gain in your deck. We've got a couple Snarl Songs. I guess Together's one's gain life too, but if we've cast a Snarl Song or a Together's one, I doubt we need Vicious Rivalry too. In those positions, and when we haven't cast one of those to gain life, we're probably so low on life we could just die. So I'm just gonna drop that. We got Double Together's one for huge card draw. Maybe we don't need the Orisa draw. The Archaics are also huge card draw. Yeah, we have a lot of big card drawy creatures. And maybe I just go for the little Archaeomancer and not the big Lorecaster. Sure. I'd like to keep one of these cheap pieces of interaction in here. Chinese Response is not always cheap, but it can be cheap sometimes. And when it's not, it still blows up any creature permanently, so I do enjoy that. One more cut, though. Maybe one run behind. Still double Proctor's Gaze and one run behind. Or I can cut the Embrace. We don't draw till late, but we have 4, 6, and 7 mana card draw spells. Alright. So, I definitely want to run one Plains for this Ajani's response so that I can pull out the Plains off Environmental Scientist or First Year if I need to, or Shared Roots for Ajani's response. So let's add a Plains, then adjust the mana from there. I don't think we need to run a Swamp. Converge 4 is still going to be huge, and we do have 2 black dual lands. There's not a single card in the deck that needs the black mana now, so I don't think we run a Swamp. But let's see how our green and our blue look, because those are really important. I do want to run a Mountain. The same reason I'm running the Plains, this one for the Tome Blast. So, 11 blue cards, 9 green. So they're basically just as important. There are more blue cards, but green gives us fixing. Actually, 3 different fixing cards. So green's probably, even with less cards, slightly more important than blue still. So we're on 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources. 5, 6, 7, 8 blue. Let's flip those counts. And that looks decent. One other thing that we could do is cut a land that's like our least important colors to play another green. Red's a little bit important because we do have a Tome Blast and a Visionary's Dance. But I really don't want to cut one of my black duels because my only black sources are these 2 duels. So I think cut like a Fields of Strife for another forest is reasonable. And I'm going to go and do that. Since we left like a mountain that we can tutor to and a plains that we can tutor, we can just run the 1 red-white duel. And we'll call that a deck there. Hop in the gameplay. See how far this pretty sweet looking. Oh no, I'm a 41 card special. I noticed at the last second. We're on 18 lands running it like that. All right, well, then I guess we are on 8 green sources. It's just 8 green sources cut that second Fields of Strife. 7 blue. You know, I'm going to go 6 blue, 9 green. Now we've got a mana base. Now we've got a deck. Call it a deck there. Hop in the gameplay. See how far this sweet-looking Converge deck can take us. All right, here we are on the draw for game 1. Excellent hand here with the Studious First Year grabbing the blue source. I think even if I play First Year turn 1, I can't Rapid Growth turn 2 because all my lands are tap lands. So I think I'm probably just waiting and casting the whole thing turn 3 so they can't possibly have any removal to interact with it, or I could just top deck Shared Roots and play that instead. And then I really don't feel bad for waiting a turn here, because I didn't have to wait. I still cast something relevant. Yep, and then I can First Year and immediately activate it. This is a really nice start. We have black, green, blue, red, and white. I need another mountain or plains to actually Converge 5, though. So we'll grab the plains here because we have a white spell in hand. And that's all 5 colors. Turn 3. Next turn, we just Snarl Song for 5 on turn 4. They have 2 mana up for potential Essence Scatter, but you can't Essence Scatter a Snarl Song. They could have the uncommon counterspell, which would just make sure that it's paying all 5 colors. The uncommon counterspell would work here because it's 2 blue and 2 to counter target spell, but you can cast it for 1 and a blue instead if it counters an instant or sorcery. All right, they're just going to concede. That was absolutely absurd. I mean, the double rampant growth into a very early Converge 5 Snarl Song. Just one of the most explosive starts you can get out of a Converge deck, so pretty easy path to victory there. 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are now for game 2. This hand is less exciting Converge-wise, and just overall, because we're not really ramping up that fast, and we only have 2 colors, but it is a very castable opening hand. We've got the right colors for what we're doing. And Proctor's Gaze will make sure that we're at least Converge 3. Quick study from our opponent for a draw 2. Plane of Plains. Proctor's Gaze something here. Could have gazed the Channeler to try to slow them down from like playing a 5-mana instant or sorcery this turn. But I don't think that's that likely. So we want to see if they play anything better. Attack with the Hydro Channeler. Take the 1 and see if they do anything post-combat. Nope. Alright, I guess I should have stopped the 1 damage. What color should we get? Red or white? And we've got 2 red cards and 1 white, so mounting it up. Find the Snarl Song. But I didn't hit land for turn. So let's go Archaeomancer unless they have Essence Scatter. We'll Proctor's Gaze again. Hydro Channeler is back. Will they play a multicolored spell, or do we actually have a trade and a referee? I do not care if Archaeomancer trades into a combat trick, and it just trades into the referee itself. I genuinely did not expect that at all. Just want a Proctor's Gaze for our white source. Should I do it while they're more tapped out, or wait and see if they play anything bigger? I mean, they're not going to play anything bigger, because they know we have the Proctor's Gaze. But who knows? This way they can't recast the Hydro Channeler this turn, I guess. Probably saving their counters for whatever big Converge spell I try to play. That's the 5 colors now for Converge. I mean, all of these are massive impact, so I think I'm allowed to just run them all out. And whatever resolves, resolves. Whatever gets countered, gets countered. Draw 4, discard 2. Discard Hydro Channeler. Forest. That Augmenter is going to get real big. We have so many high mana value spells. Alright, they're just going to play a full-on removal spell on the Archaic. Visionary's Dance, couple 3/3s. Cool stuff. I don't really currently have the mana to draw 5 cards and expect to play them without discarding a bunch, so probably on Snarl Song. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana after casting Augmenter, so I could just play Augmenter and Archaic. Or Shared Roots and Snarl Song. I kind of want to play Augmenter before I do anything else. I guess I am drawing 1 too many cards off Archaic. I'll have to discard a hand size. Oh. Muse Seeker. I don't want to mill myself. At this point, I'm drawing so many cards. And scatter. Oh good, I do get to play land for turn. That's why I kept the land. If I hadn't played a land this turn yet, then it's like, okay, I play the land, I don't have to discard to hand size. Which is the case. Wilt in the Heat. They're gonna have to double removal this Archaic. Oh, they just miscounted. Alright. Free value. 3 mana and 6 mana. This card's got reach, so we can play Paradox Surveyor and Snarl Song. That'll be a double augmenter trigger. Pull a land. Red, white, black, green, blue. Yep, we've got full Converge. They have no blue mana untapped. This deck is just popping off. They do have a Johnny's Response, but we'll get our 3/3 back. Opponent passes turn. Jam. Blow up a 5/5. Trade for the 3/3s. Take 11. I'll just try to end it. Yeah, I've got 12 cards in deck. I'm not going to mill from this. Oh, wait, is that... Oh, that's who's drawing. I'm going to draw, and then I'm going to deal the damage to them. There. Okay. That is game. That's 2-0, heading into game 3. This is a risky hand. We don't do anything until turn 4. But it has every color but red. And then really big Converge payoffs for having 4 colors to try to turn the game around. A Johnny's Response is a very good draw. Helps a lot to get another cheap removal spell. I don't have a 5 mana card, so I'm just going to play Land Force that I have the run behind up, and then I'll play Titan's Grave tapped next turn. Oh, there's my red source. Play that instead. Looks like a Converge mirror match, so we'll just see who has more big Converge cards. Simone's Experiment. There's our shared roots. We already have every color. White, blue, black, red, green. So let's grab another green, I suppose. Topiary Lecturer. Little mana ramp. Mindful Biomancer. Well, these are a couple good signs. Just some random little green creatures, because we aren't really running any of those. Which means our top end is hopefully a little bigger than theirs. White, blue, black, red, green. Auto pay. That looks like all 5 colors. It sure is. Draw 5. Discard 2. Scatter. Tome Blast has flashback. Sure. I feel like we would be fine to use Tome Blast, like hard cast it on the Biomancer though without flashing it back, because like we're never gonna run out of cards in hand in this deck once we have this amount of mana. At least just with the way this hand looks. With that together is one draw 5 coming up. I do have a Wander Off on the Archaic. Poke us for 5. I don't mind taking a turn to set up some defense. Response the Lecturer. Tome Blast the Biomancer while they're tapped out from saving it. cuboid colony. Big old tenured concoctor. They will draw a card when we kill the concoctor. I think cuboid colony is like a better card to bounce. Find an ambitious augmenter. A 19 life, and I have a Snarl Song. If I cast one Proctor's Gaze, I have to discard 2 to hand size. If I cast Augmenter in first year, I still have to discard 1 to hand size anyway. I think I can Proctor's Gaze and just discard 2 lands. I only have 13 cards deck. There's just so much draw in this deck. I mean, there's only like 4 cards that draw, but each card that draws is like a draw 5. It's pretty ridiculous. It is a May ability. I could cast an Archaic as a 6/6 without drawing anything. Ooh, speaking of drawing a million cards, there's a Mind into Matter for our opponent. Draw 5, put a permanent that costs 5 or less right onto the battlefield. Oh no. Each instant sorcery card has Miracle 2. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they can discard a card and draw a card. So they do a bunch of looting and they can cast stuff for super cheap. Okay. Proctor's Gaze it. Just Proctor's Gaze everything all the time, apparently. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana left. That's a 6 and a 4. That's a Snarl Song and a Run Behind. Snarl Song and a Proctor's Gaze. Let's go Run Behind. Force them to just draw Lorehold next turn. They're running the Converge discard spell. I mean, that is pretty gross here. It's very good in the mirror match. There are some matchups where that is a massively risky card to play. Like, I would not put it in this deck because I think it's super bad against like Lorehold and Silverquill, really just any 2-color deck. But it is very good in the mirror matches because we all just sit here, play things out really slowly. Down to 13. So we're looking for our second Snarl Song and our Archaeomancer for our Snarl Song, probably our biggest draws. Bunch of removal over there. Go to 6. We got one draw step to get the Snarl Song or the Archaeomancer. Do I have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I tap all this, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. So I would have enough mana if I top deck Snarl Song. Oh, together is one? They have 12 cards left? Oh, that's interesting. I forgot we have 2 copies of that card. I mean, we certainly keep it. The problem is, am I casting it on them or me to draw the 5? I chose to draw another card. They've got 11 left. We put them to 6 cards in library, and then if I hit another way... If I hit the Archaeomancer, then the next together is one. Mills them entirely. It's such a risky line, though. It's got to be targeting me, right? Blue. Black. Red. Green, white, and 1. There's the Archaeomancer, though. But now we've got the Snarl Song. Yeah, I think we got this. Green, black. Oh, this will be for 4, but I mean, still. Man. 5-color discard spells the deck. Goodbye, Archaeomancer. I mean, that second discard spell could get us, because now we don't really have... Okay, we have a Visionary Stance, so I was going to say we don't really have huge finishers now. I guess we did still have a Visionary Stance left. Wait, that was a bold attack. They're taking a lot for that. Last card in hand, more removal then? This is going to be a crazy close game. MVP for sure was Arcane Omens, which was the best spot for Arcane Omens. Maybe this... There might just be enough, like, 3-color and 5-color slower deck stuff going on that Arcane Omens is just genuinely legit. I think I just got crushed by Silver Quilly stuff so much in early access, it gave me an inaccurate view of the format, maybe. Because now... Now that the set's out, like, our best decks have been just these 5-color mush piles where, like, Arcane Omens is pretty sick in these matchups, in these mirrors. I don't know, maybe I should be drafting and playing that thing. Because that card really, that almost crushed us that game. Still managed to pull it out in the end, thankfully, thanks to some really good draws. We are 3-0 now, heading to game 4. Beautiful mana once again. Snapkeep on the draw for game 4. Ramping our way up into our Snarl Song and then Archaic, and they will be very likely full Converge. We have green, blue, red, white already. Shared Roots, unfortunately, can't actually find the black mana, because the Swamp is the only basic we're not running. But even casting these on Converge 4 is going to be pretty big. Let's enter the greed zone. We'll start with Muse Seeker rather than Shared Roots, so that we can draw a card, discard a card off of every cast, including the Shared Roots. Uh-oh. Whenever you cast a creature spell... Okay, I mean, we Tome Blast that. Then, boop. Doesn't do anything when it dies, so goodbye. Say goodbye to Forest. Playing against Witherbloom, but we'll see if the Terramorphic Expanse finds a third color, and it does. Silverquill and Witherbloom are the two schools that are being paired together here. Green, black, white. There's Together as one. Yeah, we're going to be doing some big stuff here. With a Snarlsong and Together is one I weirdly am pretty okay with ditching Archaic here to keep Proctor's Gaze. What if I hit for 20 damage with a Muse Seeker? I have to hit for a lot more than that against Witherbloom. Alright, they've got a Last Gasp anyway. Snooping Page. That draws cards whenever it looks at you. So, we're just going to counter that. Thing draws way too many cards. Scolding Administrator. Put it back. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Well, casual draw 8 in this hand. Just get a couple 4/4s on the empty board. Let's draw 4 cards and kill the Administrator. Boom, they're down to 10. And there's a Grapple with Death to kill one of our 2 Fractals. Boop. What do you got? Flow State. Proctor's Gaze, run behind. Cool. I'm genuinely too good at drawing cards in this deck. Is there really ever a such thing? Pass, holding up a bunch of interaction. And they are over it. Converge continues being busted. And they might actually also be on Converge, because we just saw red, white, black, and green now. But we had the bigger stuff and more ramp going on, so we get there a little faster. And we are 4-0 heading into Game 5. A positive record out of this draft, no matter where things go from here. Here we are now on the draw for game number 5. If we draw a green source, this hand is awesome. But if we don't, this hand gets crushed. So quite a risky one. We take the mulligan here. We have more than enough massive draw spells in the late game to make up for being down a card off a mulligan. Probably shouldn't keep Archaeomancer this early over a land or a removal spell. Uh-oh. This is going to be our first really scary matchup. Turn 1 Elite Interceptor Silverquill deck. This is like the matchup. This is like in Tarkir Dragonstorm when you're like the 5-color splashy deck and your opponent's on Boros. This is the equivalent of that. They are the deck that is like designed to beat you for your greed. So our worst matchup here. We'll see how it plays out. It is not playing out well. That group project is now going to give him another creature. That is a massive board super early. We will have a run behind up here, which is helpful. And we are going to have full Converge if we survive Tell Together as one. But that's easier said than done. They could just intercept our scientist here and jam. But we do get to run behind a token for a permanent kill here. I think the biggest goal here is to slow them down as much as possible, though. So if they don't like make a token as big as the Adventurous Eater, I'm still just going to bounce the Eater, I think. It's okay that they can redraw and play it. We just need to stop more damage right now. Recasting it will take some time. I don't know, it's really close. I'll just permanently kill a token. It's only one less damage right now. Okay, that doesn't matter much. Maybe I'm supposed to discard Archaic just to make sure no matter what I draw, I together as one on turn 6. But I will discard this land. I think I'll draw one land in the next 3 draw steps. We honestly might not even survive till 6 mana anyway. We did draw another 6 mana spell. So again, like if we make it to 6, we really flip this game around. But I don't know if we're making it there. We're down to 8. If we don't draw a spell, we're dead to a 3-power creature, and that's basically a 3-power creature. We didn't draw a spell. So that's just the worst matchup for you. Great aggressive curve from the Silver Quill deck. We just don't have quite enough early stuff. We did have outs. Obviously, like we've got more copies of Run Behind and Proctor's bounce spells and stuff like that. We just needed one more copy, and we would have survived at like 2 life. And then being at 2 life would be enough to potentially flip this game, because we go back to 7 life with 2 blockers up. 7 life, block, take 4. Yeah, we probably could have stabilized. We drew 1 more of our early removal spells. So I don't think those matchups are impossible to win, but they are certainly going to be difficult, and we did not draw quite well enough to do so there. That is 4-1 heading to game number 6. All right, here we are on the draw now for game number 6. We love to see that dual land, the Prismari dual land, even if they aren't a Converge deck or anything. Prismari is one of the slower archetypes. And it looks like they might be blue-red and then a black land, but awkwardly, even though they might be slower, they're starting with a pretty aggressive card. It's going to keep draining us early. Okay, what do we have? We have 2 green, we have 2 blue, we have 2 red, we have 1 white. So we grab another white or another green? Let's grab another green. We would grab a black if we put a swamp in here, but we did not, so we will not. Just going to be our Paradox Surveyor on blocks. Unless they have Essence Scatter. If they don't, well, there's the white. Snap block, I don't care what happens to Surveyor. Oh, they're just going to cast removal. Sure. Had to wait for the life gain trigger to make us lose more. What is this 4-color aggro? The life loss removal spell and the life drain creature? Well, we're 1 land away from Together as One to stabilize. We have a sorcery engrave, no instant. We can't put an instant engrave. With 2 copies of Together as One, I don't need this Visionary Stance, so we'll use this first. Find Hydro Channeler, perfect. Using it first so that if we do draw something cheap that we can play, We might be able to hold off on slow state till we have an instant engrave too. Because next turn we're certainly playing together as one. It's a Leech Collector. It's just like a Witherbloom deck with a Spectacle Summit. So I'm just going to drain us out with a Leech Collector. Okay, let's kill a Leech Collector. Ooh, I can filter mana in this as well to draw one more card. I don't know that that's going to be worth it, because then I'm not blocking Postmortem Professor. And I'm already drawing more cards than I can hold in my hand. So let's not filter black mana. We'll just hold that up on blocks. Okay, there's our 4 colors. No. Don't tap that channeler, please. Cool. Discard an island. We got our Chaomancer with these together as ones. You know, surprisingly, this is another position where that black Converge discard spell would be really good. I think I think I probably am undervaluing that card based on how it's played today. It's been impressive. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, the world is our oyster. We can just play and we will almost definitely win. Just jam some spells. Another Proctor's Games. It's very funny. I think we're just waiting for a Snarl Song, and then we're gonna Snarl Song or Chaomancer Snarl Song, cast another Snarl Song. Just looking for the beef. Muse Seeker. I don't even want to put that on my board. My current life total. Or not my current life total, my current cards in library. My cards in library is essentially my life total in this deck. Because that's what's going to run out first. When we hit the late game. Okay, I got 8 turns to kill them. Make it 7 turns because I'm going to play Environmental Scientist. I could choose to fail, but it would be better to thin this last land out, make us get to the Snarl Songs faster than it would be to fail that. Now, Archaic, we are not going to be drawing the cards off of. They have finally found their 4th land thanks to a stock up. Some real rough luck earlier for them. And here we go. Snarl Song has arrived. Woo! Our Chaomancer that Snarl Song. We are vibing. Trade into their Augmenter. Trade into the Augmenter with their Death Toucher if they want. They do not want to, they go down to 12. Ooh, exile removal on the Augmenter to stop us from getting the token. Very nice. They are dead if they don't have a blocker, so kill the blocker and boop. That is 5 and 1 now in the money out of this draft. Wherever things go from here, these Converge decks have just been gnarly when they are open. Beautiful, beautiful stuff once again. And we'll see if we can't keep it up heading into game number 7. Alright, this is a nice opening hand. Because we just want our cheap spells early. And we've got a couple of those. We got some things to do. Another splashier deck, green, blue, and black from our opponent. Mozio. That's a strong start. A reach blocker is going to be good against that, so good stuff from Paradox Surveyor at least. If I get a plains, then I now have black and white off of the forum for Converge. So I think I'm getting the plains here, even though I have more blue cards. That way I can use this for black, this for white, this for blue, this for green. Gets me farther on Converge. Mozio can potentially reanimate things when they're gaining a bunch of life, but they don't have anything in grave, and they're only gaining 1 a turn, and they'd have to kill Surveyor to be getting attacks in with it. So it's not really doing anything right now. Zimone's Experiment looking for creatures and lands. They find 1 land into play, 1 creature into hand. That creature is a big one. 3 mana, 4/4 Death Touch plus a 5 mana way to put the biggest creature in the top 7 straight onto the battlefield. Scary. We did not draw anything, so I think we are stable enough right now to just pass until Snarl Song, but there's an argument to cycle the Visionary's Dance. Okay, now, yeah, I might cycle the Visionary's Dance to make sure we have something to do next turn, because if I just play a land next turn, that's going to be rough after that stun. Yeah, we'll do it. Cycle Visionary's Dance, find Archaeomancer or Flow States. And Flow State will not be active, it's a draw 1. Archaeomancer's not castable, though. We only have 1 blue, so that's got to be Flow State. I guess thanks to Muse Seeker, Flow State is going to be a draw discard as well. Ooh, this resolves first, so I could discard Essence Scatter to actually draw 2. That's pretty cute. That is pretty cute. All right, we go Plains and then fully converged Snarl Song next turn. But we are actually under quite a bit of pressure from that Fractal Mascot. It's bigger than our Snarl Song tokens. Down to 10. Our opponent is a Converge deck as well. They have every color, and there's a Snarl Song for 5. Yikes. Well, our Snarl Song isn't exactly going to stabilize us against an opposing Snarl Song that's just as big, but it is still our best bet right now. Snarl Song for Snarl Song trades. Emeritus of Abundance is going to completely destroy us. That just picks up Snarl Song every single turn. Even if I run behind it, they recast it and then regrowth of Snarl Song. Yeah. We would need our white removal spell that just fully destroys a creature. That is not in our hand, so that is going to run away with the game. I don't even think I bounce it here with run behind, because again, then they just draw it, play it, do it again. So we just do some digging. They're going to be at like infinite life off of looping the Snarl Songs too. Really think that we can get out of this, but I'll try. I guess I could double Tome Blast this Emeritus. And we have a 6/6 blocker against the 5/5 attackers, but then the Fractal Mascot still gets to push in if we can't use Archaic on that. I think we save Archaic for the 5/5s. They just have too many creatures. I guess Emeritus doesn't get to keep playing Regrowth unless it declares an attack. So if we make this a position where they can't attack in with Emeritus, then they only get the one extra Snarl Song, which is still massive, but doesn't loop infinitely. Yep. Yep. Okay. So I guess we're not going to Tome Blast Emeritus, because we just keep it from attacking us. Tome Blast Mozio seems fine. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Tome Blast Mozio, 6 mana left. So Tome Blast Mozio, cast Environmental Scientist, and hold up Proctor's Gaze or Run Behind. Or I could have double Run Behind up for 6 with double blue if I'm targeting attacking creatures. There's a Together as one. Maybe we hold up double Run Behind. They're going to mill 7. So, with how high their life total is going, how many creatures they have out, this may finally be the game we're genuinely trying to have them draw 10. They're going to have 15 cards left. So 2 Together as ones and 5 turns would kill them. You have to find a way to survive 5 turns. And the Fractal Mascot's the real issue when all of our stuff is bounce removal. Okay, this is unexpected in a bad way. In a very bad way. Bounce, bounce, take 4. I don't want to keep milling myself with this Muse Seeker. I want this thing to die. Yeah, put it on top. They can get it off the scavenger now. Please kill my Muse Seeker. No. Oh, come on. The 5 to face off their own together is one. Dang. I was really hoping for something not like that. That would have been really interesting to see how that would play out. See if we could try to get like a draw 10 victory against them. But hey, GG. That is 5-2 heading into game 8. All right, here we are for game number 8. We are 5-2 right now with our very sweet Converge deck. I think this has a potential for a 7 win, but we have to win every single game from now on. So it is going to be an absolute fight for it. We've got no more breathing room. Mono blue hand from our opponent. They are really looking for their second color and did not find it off their Visionary's Dance. There's a mountain. There's a seize the spoils. Draw a couple cards, get a treasure. Okay, well, we've got our Proctor's Gazes up. This could be an awkward matchup for Proctor's Gaze. We need them to put some kind of permanent on the board so we can ramp with that thing. And currently they're just all instants and sorceries. They're still all instants and sorceries. Well, Studio's first year then. Oh, I actually should have gotten the white source there. A red or a white source, because we can only converge 4 currently. I did not realize. I mean, we've got the double Proctor's Gaze, so we can solve that soon. But if I top deck a really powerful Converge card, I can't really cast it for the full 5 immediately. Not till after Proctor's Gaze. But I was just thinking with the Archaeomancer in hand, being able to play this and a blue spell would be big. So triple blue would be big. Just go land Visionary's Dance, but it's against a bunch of open mana. I think I'm happy to go tap land Proctor's Gaze. Dramatic Critique me for 4. Yep. Double Traumatic Critique. Some open Prismari for sure. The 0 creature build. The 0 permanent build is rough for these Proctor's Gazes. They're just staring at me being so sad. At least we haven't drawn a Converge card yet to really get punished. They gotta have like a Disdainful Stroke or something. With how little they've been casting. Spell Pierce, yeah. Oh, man. Divergent equation to return 3 instants or sorceries from grave to hand. A traumatic critique, seize the spoils, and a spell pierce. So together is one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, so I can cast a together as one and still have 2 up for the spell pierce if they don't have a different counter spell. Snaveful Stroke. Poke 4. Run behind. Sure, we redraw the Augmenter. Where are your permanents? They have 11 cards left. They open like the mythic Mathemagics to mill me out too. This is like the magical Christmas Land Prismari All Spells deck. The double traumatic critique. Oh my god, they got the Tide Caller. Kind of same difference. Well, we die. That is an incredible Prismari deck, frankly. Yeah, I mean, if they have any other counterspell outside the Spell Pierce, this game's completely over. If they bounce the Tide Caller, then they replay it, mill me. We try our best. Feels really weird to target them with Together as one, but considering they have a big Millwind condition out, might be the play. No, I'll still target myself. I don't think this is going to resolve anyway. Bounce it. Mill me 5. Or mill me 3. Poke. Yeah, we've had several games today already where we almost milled ourselves out, so mill-win conditions are just gonna be unbeatable for us. Now they just cast a 5 mana spell and a 1 mana spell, and that's it already. Yep. This was the same draft we saw that Tide Caller, and we didn't Didn't get to take it because there was an environmental scientist. So I stand by that pick 100%. Environmental scientist is really good in this deck. But yeah, now we have 2 cards left, and they just spell pierce any instant or sorcery, and we're dead. So there is no way out. Oh my god, I guess I could run behind myself over and over and over. Alright, we try our best. I can't scoop yet. I can't scoop yet. So I can run behind myself. They have 3 mana up. I feel like that's enough to counter anything already. So I think I'm going to wait to run behind until their end step. Because unless they have a 4 mana counterspell, they could already have the counterspell up either way. Oh, it would have been better. It actually would have been better to do it in our turn because of burn spells. There could be burn spells that cost more than 3. Yeah, that's a 2 mana counterspell against instants or sorceries. I could have stopped in my upkeep, but Arena does not automatically do that, so I didn't click fast enough in response, and so we lose. That's kind of a bummer. We did have one last opportunity. Upkeep before the draw step. That would be after the untap. We try again. Then we're still dead to any counterspell or removal spell, but if they didn't have one more counter removal spell, that would win the game for us. Because then we run behind the Archaeomancer back to the top, draw it, play the Archaeomancer, pick up the run behind. The world may never know. I mean, with how absurd their deck was, I would bet that they had burn or a counter still left over. They certainly had the mana for it, whatever it was. But there was a chance that I missed out on because I forgot that I needed to put a stop there manually, which is rough. One of the perks of playing digital Magic, sometimes there's a play that could make you survive, but Arena's just going to skip right past that because it doesn't know the difference. 5-3 it is. Really kind of a rough ending there. That was a super absurd Prismari deck. I think this deck was awesome. I think it absolutely could have gone for a 7-win run here, but it didn't quite get there. 5-3 is still a really good record. We still are in the money here, still won quite a few more games than we lost. Very happy with how I drafted this deck. I think the main things that could have changed were during gameplay itself, particularly obviously putting a stop on Arena there to be able to try to run behind one last time. Because if the second run behind resolved, I think we do win that game. It's Archaeomancer on top, draw Archaeomancer, play it, put run behind back into the hand. And we've just got that loop so that we have multiple turns to kill them, and it only would have taken a couple. So, yeah, kind of a sour note to end it on, that it just skipped right past the upkeep. But everything else about this deck was very cool, very powerful. I'm very happy with how we drafted this. I think this is a good archetype, and this is a good build of it. Not quite a 7-winner today, though. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.